Well, welcome one and all. Love Them Knives channel, and we've got batch 40 to talk about. And there's three other knives that should be in this group. I got pictures of them. One I returned. I had this done months ago, and then I've sold my house, moved across the country, all that stuff. So this sat on a shelf for a while and didn't get reported on, but I'm going to report on it now. And there was 9 knives total in the batch, okay? A couple of FreeTiger knives, a couple of Petrified fish knives, rough RYDER, Tassie Tiger, like Tasmanian tiger. And that's Australian. And then we've got the Willumsen Chibs, and which is right here, okay? Also the Stedemon Dongshan, and of course Vespa, and Grindworks carries those. Well, they run out of them all the time, but they carry the Vespa knives, and this is the Dark Star. A guy sent me the Vespa knife, the OTF, saying, is it really M390 and all that kind of thing. So I did send that in, test it. I've tested Vespa M390 before, and yes, it was M390. Okay, let's talk about these because, interestingly enough, the FreeTiger FT906, and I don't have this on every knife. I only got this on the knife that didn't pass muster, and so this is the one right here. And FT906, and let me look at the box because, okay, there's the 906. And there it is in the picture, okay? This is supposed to be D2, correct? But D2 would be about 12% chromium. This is 14, so basically this is an 8CR14 MOV steel instead of Chinese D2. And these things sell on Amazon for about 25 bucks, that kind of thing. I think they're a good value at that. I like them. So am I going to be big on, wow, it's not Chinese D2, it's 8CR14? As far as I'm concerned, I don't give a rat's ass. It's interesting that the earliest FreeTiger that I did that a lot of people were talking about, and I can't remember the model number, but I got one somewhere rolling around on my shelves. That one was D2. The second one I had tested was a steel handle, and that was not, even though it claimed to be. These two claim to be D2, and they're not. They're 8CR14, and I sent one or two recently for batch 42 in to get tested to see if they're D2, and guess what? They're both D2. So I don't understand why they're kind of wavering in and out, what's going on with their manufacturing process. I mean, the bottom line is, if it's 8CR14, okay. I mean, just say it is. Or maybe you got your metals mixed up in the rack and you have no idea what you're doing, which is scary in and of itself. But this one's a nice one too. This is the 904, and this is more of a heavy duty Haas, but it's not D2, it's 8CR14. So go figure. I do like the FreeTiger knives. I've got, with adding these two, I bet I've got probably about 10 of them. Different models, and I'm gonna do more exploration and reporting on them, and because I think they're a pretty good value. They seem like a solid knife, as good or better than a Ganzo knife, and so yeah, I mean, and it's a change up, I mean, you don't want to buy all one brand of budget knives, so you got Harns and you got all kinds of other brands of knives, Y-Start, etc., etc. So, hey, this is a refreshing change. And of course, you got Petrified fish. Now, they will be more than $25 depending on which steel they have on them. So let's not tarry, and let's go to the Petrified fish $959. Let's see, which one is the $959? Did I mark it? Did I mark it? Come on, $969. Okay, there's the $959 here. Okay, I like this one. It's gray, and it would be easy to dye the scales and make it whatever you want. But they actually put their model number on here and say it's D2. And so is it really D2? Yeah, it's D2. So, I mean, I keep testing them, and I don't think I've had them ever not be true to what they say it is. And this, see, I put this one in on the batch as well. Kind of like the fact when they include a lanyard. And this one's got a titanium pocket clip. Interesting that they did that. This is more expensive, obviously, than this. But this is supposed to be Bowler K110. Is it Bowler K110? Yes, according to my PMI testing metallurgy guy, this is Bowler K110, which the difference between the K110 and the D2, I don't know. I don't know if I could ever appreciate the difference there, because Bowler K110 has a very similar elemental construction to D2, pretty much indistinguishable. I've had people argue that, okay, I mean, tell me the specifics. Is it in the heat treat, or is it in, what is it? Now, what are the elemental differences in your mind? Because a PMI gun calls this D2 and it calls this D2. So you actually have to look at the elements in Bowler K110 to see if that lines up, and it does. So the next one is the Rough Rider, and this is a giant of a knife. Unfortunately, I mean, really, I'd like this better if it was a tip up. I might actually hang on to it, but no, this will probably go on a giveaway or something. Not very expensive. But I have tested Rough Rider before when they've had like a VG10 or whatever, and it was actually tested correctly. Some of their knives are 440. This one supposedly is a T10 type blade, so you can look up that elemental online if you want. And is it T10? Yes, it is. Okay. Now, the Stedemon Dongshan knife that I had, and I did have this red one. Okay, and supposedly it's D2, and yes, it is. And it wasn't inexpensive, was it? $119, so, $110, I guess, after 10% discount. So it wasn't inexpensive, but yes, it tested correctly. And then, of course, the next one is the Tassie. And this is D2. There was a guy in Australia wanted me to test this, because I guess these do come from Australia. He gave me the website where I could get one, and I couldn't. They were out. They were gone. I said, well, I guess I can't test it. I don't have one. So he sent one to me, and of course now I forgot who he was, and I can't remember if he wanted this back or not. But it is here, and yes, it is really D2. So if you were interested in that, if you've ever seen the Tassie Tiger, these are the TTK knives, and so you can check that out online as well. I think they've got other models and stuff that they sell. I believe, yes, these are all made in China, but they're marketed kind of like Half-Breed Blades is in Australia, but their knives are made in Taiwan. Well, I think these are made in China, but they're marketed by an Australian company. All right, then Vespa, and Vespa is an interesting group of knives, not necessarily just automatics, but the OTFs were of particular interest to one of my viewers, and he sent me the OTF, and I had it tested, M390, and is it? Yes, it is, M390. And I can't remember, but what way back, and you can look at some of my previous batch reports that I've done. I believe I had one of them actually tested for Rockwell, and I believe it tested pretty well. So the Vespa OTFs in M390, yeah, I mean, what we've tested on the Vespa knives has tested true. And then the last one, of course, is the Willumsen Chibs. And of course, that's supposed to be D2. And is it? Yes, it's actually really D2. And so if you want to take a screenshot of this and the results for your information, you know, if you follow this stuff, then this might be helpful to you. All these right here, yeah, 8CR14 on the 2 FreeTigers. The rest of them all checked out fine. And I'm sorry, I don't have the PMI pictures except for the one that didn't test correct. And I don't know if I lost them or I never got them and he just gave me the one picture, the one that didn't test. Going forward, I will have pictures, PMI pictures of each knife that we test, regardless if it tests true or not. So that's the report on batch 40. I'm going to continue to kind of look at these because they've been vacillating back and forth. Even ground knives the same way. They've been 8CR13 early days when I started doing the testing. None of them were D2. They were 8CR13, okay? And it went for so long, they were like 0 for 9, right? And then the owner contacted me and sent me knives, and they all tested at D2, saying he's gone with a new manufacturer and he didn't realize he was getting lied to, supposedly. So those all tested correct as D2. Later, I went to Amazon under another name and bought 6 of them, and there was like 2 of them that were D2, the others were not, and I figured maybe he's flushing the others out of his inventory. Unfortunately, some viewers were like, I don't care if you flush them out of you need to flush them back to your own factory if they're not really D2, and you're saying they are. I agree with that. So then after that, it was another 3 months or 4 months, I bought another group of them, and those will be in the batch 41 or 42 that I'm going to report on going forward, and you will see what those results are as well. So I'm following those because guys buy the even ground knives, they'll buy the FreeTiger knives, Petrified Fish, others, and you know, you just want to know, and you want to know if they trip and all of a sudden, you know, they're not using that blade steel, because you never know. Obviously I don't do Benchmade, Spyderco, you know, ZT, that kind of thing, because we've never tested, but well, they've been true to form, and it's kind of a waste of time to do it. But these are a little bit more ambiguous, are they not? So you never know. I'm going to leave you to it. Thanks so much. Maybe not as exciting as the other batches will be that are coming up, but I wanted this one in the books. And you know what we do. Somewhere behind here, we love them knives. So you guys stay sharp.